So, how's everyone doing after the break? They're fine. Okay, my name is Daria krasnova. I'm an editor at Being Crypto. We're one of the largest media outlets in the world, covering all things Web3 in like 14 languages. So we're pretty big. And here I have 5 seasoned experts who are very ready to discuss the subtle art of crafting a Web3 project from zero, from scratch. Before we start, I wanted to ask them to introduce themselves briefly. So please start, Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex, co-founder of Simplicity Group. We do 2 things. We design tokenomics for crypto projects, and we do research and due diligence for investors. I'm also a partner at a community VC, Kaizen Ventures. Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Tina Burduli. I'm a CMO at MetaViu. We are the largest and pioneer marketing solution. We are aggregator of 2 worlds. We are onboarding brands in Web3 and helping the Web3 content creators to accelerate their projects. So that's us.
Okay. Hi, my name is Guru. I'm co-founder and CEO of B-Cube.AI. We are an AI-driven platform who provide AI infrastructure for crypto trading. We are patent pending, and also very soon we are going to launch regulated activities in France. We are based in France, so this is what my company does.
Hi everyone, I'm Crypto Marina. I'm into this space since 2017, and I'm marketing, business development, and growth specialist. Currently, I'm running my own marketing agency called Crypto Marina Marketing, and I'm marketing advisor in San Marino setup. So if someone interested moving business to San Marino, I'm the best person to talk about it. And I'm also writing a book about cybersecurity for children. I have my NFT course and doing a bunch of other stuff for their hobby. And yeah, thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gamar Jaba. A lot of wonderful people here, beautiful. Alexander. We represent today the game here, Age of Mars. And this is on top of the blockchain we've been developing since 2019. It's extremely proper for any game, should you have it, with fast transactions and a good speed. So we also attract people for running our nodes. It's at super competitive price. I shall be happy to discuss it further with you. And my background also in payments. As a payments platform, QChain can deliver your online business with Argentina and Brazil payments, which are, as you may know, complicated markets. It's totally packed with its native stablecoins, both for Argentina and Brazil. Chile is coming soon, South Africa. This is probably the most important. Thanks, Marina, for hosting it today. We expect this not to be too much boring, so cheer up.
Okay, cool. Let's warm up a little and start from a very easy question. At least it's easy for me, but we'll see. So, what are the first steps someone should take when crafting a Web3 project from absolute zero? Are there any essential tools or essential resources you can recommend for beginners?
I can kick you off with a very overarching answer, which is that Web3 is just an ideology, and the only difference between Web2 and Web3 is realistically the tech, i.e. blockchain. But even that doesn't really explain what Web3 is. So to answer the question, I would take the fact that there's Web3 in the question and throw it far away, because it doesn't matter in the slightest. What matters is the fact that you're building a company. Whether it's Web3, Web2, AI, none of that matters. You're building a company, and for that you need to understand what it takes to run a company. So like business, finance, accounting, legal, marketing, the whole shebang. And once you separate the notion of Web3 from actual businesses, which is what everyone here is doing, then it becomes a lot more clear, because there's a lot of resources that you can find online on how to run a business. So, yeah.
I would say you have to know at first what's the concept of Web3. It's important to know, and you have to network a lot. You have to build your community because that's the core of majority of the projects. And at the end is that know your end user and the pain points and what they need, and start to build the project that will help them achieve or create a solution for them.
So in my experience, I built a Web2 company before. I had a successful exit from that, which also got listed on a stock exchange. And this is my second company, and this is a Web3 company. What I feel is the most important thing is to find a problem, and we need to solve it. And this problem is not a problem which is only for me, but we have to find a problem which is problem for the masses. And we need to address that problem. So it's not that, okay, like let me put everything into blockchain, because 90% of the things that we hear, what is going to be on the blockchain, doesn't need blockchain really. So they need to understand why blockchain is necessary for their project. Once they know that, then they need to find their customers. Who are their competitors? They need to do a lot of research. Once they know their competitors, they need to do something what they are doing, and do something what they are not doing, and try to do something what they can never do. This is what a founder needs to make initially before starting any company, whether it's Web3 or Web2.
Well, the question was actually given some steps, so I will go more like in the point step by step. First step, of course, like you said, is find a problem, find a solution, and this will be your unique selling points. This is something that makes you different from everyone else. Then you do your market research, competitor research, and you see if something like this already actually exists or not. And if it exists, so change the idea, come back to the point one. After that, make sure to hire a legal expert and see that you're compliant, decide what kind of token you're going to have. After that, you create documentation, white paper, technical paper, one-pager, pitch deck, and you actually start building your testnet, which you can use GitHub, for example, as a tool for references, and many others. When you're doing this, make sure to become an active part of Web3 community and take care of your personal branding as an expert, because if you lead in this company as a founder, your company reputation directly depends on your personal reputation as well. And start your marketing campaign, from community building and finishing by PR. I mean, I can talk about this for hours. This was not a question. And network, attract investment. Make sure don't give away all your majority of the shares to investors. Be very careful with VCs and funds. It's mostly recommended actually to go for grants or crowdfunding, or if you can be self-sufficient, that's the best. And after networking, build partnerships and go there, hit the market.
It's not just a few steps. That's a lot of steps. I have to disagree on one thing about idea. When you research the market and you see there are plenty of companies similar to yours, there will be plenty of companies similar to yours. It's incredibly hard to find like a bright, like shiny new idea. So, yeah.
Well, yes, absolutely. Competition probably will be always there for you, but you have to find something unique about you, and around this you make the whole marketing and your user experience and your branding, There are, for example, lots of fast food, but like McDonald's, for instance, the most famous one, because they're really good on branding, and their business strategy. And there are, 1 million of examples like this, how you can be in the
big room is McDonald's and our big room is KFC, yeah?
Yeah,
okay.
Or Bitcoin is McDonald's.
Which is weird, yeah.
Well, on top of that, what has already been said, as a game developers, the main challenge for us was a sort of interoperability of those tokens that we run in our games. Where else in other ecosystems of other projects those can be deployed. So as of today, we are in negotiations with several other game studios to, let's say, to cross to cross-exchange our game plots and the assets of our games with other games. So to bring something from other projects for the game plot within the game of us, and to exchange what we have in our ecosystem.
It's really cool, actually, yeah. So, what's your thoughts on the most common problems, most common challenges and risks that's associated with Web3 projects, especially for newcomers?
So I'll answer this from the perspective of a token economist. So one of the most common challenges that I believe Web3 projects have is thinking that their token is something more than just an empty shell which transfers value. And this is sort of circling back to my initial point of you need to be a business, is you can't just have a token and then have that be a core part of your ecosystem in and of itself. You're just tokenizing something within your existing ecosystem. And what a lot of projects get wrong is they, for example, they'll come to us and they say they want a token, we ask why, and they say, well, we want to reward people. If you're rewarding people with a token, which in and of itself has no real value because you can't use it anywhere, you can only sell it, you're not really rewarding them with anything other than, well, nothing really, just some code, if you will. So I'd say the most common challenge is understanding that tokens aren't a replacement for an actual asset or thing within the ecosystem. They're just a layer on top of what you already have.
I would say, okay, I would say the challenges is the lack of our awareness of Web3 and what can be done in Web3, and also a lot of projects have unfortunately rug pulled, and this changes the narrative and how the Web3 can can operate. So that's the challenges from the look of the outside of person, that there is not enough information about what can be done in Web3, and a lot of projects that failed.
On top of what has already been discussed, I would say something related to product itself. Product management is extremely important. And you need to have very good product owner or a product manager, and you need to know what you're doing. Because you raise money, if you don't know like what is coming up and what you're going to build next and what is the top priority, then probably you might waste a lot of time and money on something which is not so important. Or maybe it is nice to have, good to have, but not a must-have. So for that, you need to listen to your customers, and you need to know what they expect from you and what actually you need to build. So in product management, this is very important, because if you go wrong there, this is the reason why many of the projects, apart from the rug pullers and all the scammers, they run out of money. They're genuinely doing it, but their management was very bad. Secondly, like community management is very, very, very important. And because we have our own token and we built our own community from the scratch. We never made any other types of marketing or like adding some fake people. No, we didn't do that. We did it very organically. And in community management, what is very important is that it's not just adding the people there in your community. Building a community is building a culture. It's building a very, very strong family who have the same values like you and who see it as much bigger than the company itself. So community management and product management is something like what very early stage startups should really focus on. And if you get it right there, you have a product, you have a community, everything will be possible afterwards.
Well, there are a lot of challenges, of course, that Web3 founders are facing, starting from security, market volatility, fundraising, user acquisition, and so on. But I think the most important one is actually giving the value to a company which is constantly growing, which is, like you mentioned, is based on your community. If you have a big community, they're going to be your users, they're going to be your investors, they're going to be your supporters, and this is your direct value. So a solution for this is be user-centric company and put your community first, even first than yourself. You know, sometimes you have to give away even from your pocket, like for free, in order to build, trust, loyalty, and long-term relationships.
But it actually applies to Web 2 companies as well. So yeah, the foundation is still the same.
Well, it's indeed nearly the same, and I would say that if stakeholders consider their project as a Web3, it provides even more challenges rather than a regular centralized Web2 project. But Alex has raised quite an important thing about tokens, the tokenomics, as a representation of a digital asset that has a certain value. That's what we come out in the game. When we developed this city builder, we represent each building within a game as actually an NFT, which is being developed through the game plot and appreciates in the price. So once deployed on a secondary market, it could be sold for a higher competitive price, or since we are talking about the assets on a blockchain, which we use QChain as the blockchain for the project along with Binance. It can be dropped off on your MetaMask and once again sold through the network or gifted to someone. So any Web3 project is about the tokens, the digital assets.
You have a native token or just NFTs?
Yes, there is a native token. Well, in the name of the game, it's Age of Mars, and the token is MetaMars token. And it's a limited supply and used as a native token, so it's legal tender for our Mars economy.
I have a question for another Alex. Do you think like really every project needs their own token, or they can live happily without it?
So, firstly, I would say that after thinking about tokens for a while, some of my history is I did economics, I worked at Coin Bureau, worked at Crypto VC, so I've been thinking about economics and tokens for a while now. I've come up with two main, and in my opinion only, happy to be proven wrong if anyone can think of anything else, purposes for a token to be created. So like two reasons why a token should be created. The first one is pure decentralization, and I don't mean that in a buzzword sense, I mean that in the sense that you don't want to use dollars because then you can't have anyone from, I don't know, Russia or China buying your stuff. So then you use USDT, but USDT is fractionally reserved, I think. So you don't want to use that. So, you release your own token, and lo and behold, you have your own monetary policy, fiscal policy, control over it. So you're completely separate from anything else that happens. So that's the first purpose. The second purpose is data. So things like zero knowledge proofs and like just transferring data in a much more fast way. And I think to answer your question, basically, those two purposes for the token are realistically the only real reasons why a project should launch a token. However, that being said, again, to answer your question, most projects can go without a token, but a token is still kind of good because they do have loads of, what's the word? Like you can use them for loads of things. So you can use them to fundraise, you can use them for payments, for staking, for like all these different things, and are versatile, that's the word. Like the tokens are very versatile, which is quite useful. But yeah, most projects don't really need a token. Most projects don't really need the blockchain. And to be honest, no offense to any people, but most of the time when people say, yeah, we're on a blockchain for this, it can probably be done in Web 2 without blockchains whatsoever. But I won't go into that too much. And also, just really quickly, to add to the community thing, community is just a synonym for users, first and foremost. But a great example from Web 2 of a company that really cared about their community is Jeff Bezos and Amazon. If you watch any of his interviews from day one, he always banged on about the users and basically how good the company is to the users. And, well, you know where Amazon is right now. So that's a great example, I feel, for community focus.
We all know that narratives in crypto space are changing pretty fast. Like, for example, in the last few years, we had ICO craziness, IDO craziness, then NFT craziness, overpriced JPEGs. Like, okay, what else? We have DeFi craziness. So my question is, how a newcomer in the Web3 space can find the right idea and how to apply it for the project.
Okay, I can't agree, and yeah, Web3 is the fastest changing industry so far. There's lots of things going on, so you have to have your hand on a pulse. You have to know the trends and what's going on in the space, and very important that know the pain points and what your users want and needs. And you have to think outside of the box and to think about the solutions that can be created within the Web3, so it can solve the user's problem. So yeah, listen closely, know your end user, know their pain points, and the Web3 gives you the opportunity to create something that has not been done yet. So yeah.
Again, that's quite tough, like to build something that hasn't been created yet. So the question was like how to find this exact idea.
Can you come again, please? Can you please repeat the question?
My question was how to find this exact idea, and Tina was saying you have to be unique, but it's pretty impossible because there's so many projects, the similar one, and they're based on one stack, for example.
Yeah. As I said in the beginning, there are three things that anyone who is starting a new company should do. We have a lot of gaming projects, right? But if games are pretty much the same, then nobody will have an edge over it. Either you need to have a rockstar CMO in your team to sell anything which cannot be sold also. So if they can sell it that way, then that's good. Otherwise, you really need to have a very solid product. If you can put Call of Duty or Medal of Honor kind of first-person shooter games on blockchain, then that is going to be super. That is going to be amazing. But right now, we are not seeing these kind of games on blockchain yet, at least as of now. So if someone wants to create a game on blockchain, so these are some of the things they need to think, like what is not there already, which is already popular on other platforms. So this is what they need to do. And as I said, like there are three things that we need to do, because we did the same thing in my own company. When we were thinking of like trading automations and providing index strategies, like where we select a couple of coins and we invest like a little bit on that one, and AI will rebalance it completely. So when we came out with this concept, we didn't have competitors. For sure, we had many. For example, we had Mudrex, which is backed by Y Combinator. We had like many startups like doing similar things. But how we were standing very different from other people is that whenever the rebalancing happens on a competitor's platform, it's based on the market capitalization. So if market capitalization of BTC is more tomorrow as compared to ETH, it will invest more in BTC. For me, it looked absolutely stupid because you're just chasing a green candle, so there is no alpha there. So what we were trying to do is like, okay, how to make an AI-based trading system which makes a selection of trades based on the current market trend and not based on the market capitalization. So in our platform, people can earn profits without actually holding them for a long time or all the time. So there was a differentiating factor. When we launched the project, in the first 8 months, we got like 2,000 paying customers. And right now on the platform, we have more than 21,000 people signed up on the platform. We are slowly releasing the new products to a lot of people, but they are on the waiting list. So it's very important to study the competitor and slowly do what they are doing if your concept is the same, and do something better than them. Visit their communities, become part of their communities, and see that what problems they are facing and how you can address those problems. And if you address those problems, like whether they are going to migrate to your platform or not. So this is something like research we need to do background in order to be different from what competitors are doing and to scale much better than competitors.
Can I just jump in here quickly as well? So the question was, just for myself to reiterate, how do you keep up with the trends and then find something innovative in the trend, right? First of all, if you can't think of anything, just don't start a business. To be honest, as simple as that, really. I wanted to start a business for like 15 years, and I just didn't because And this is the key, right? This is how you start business, is you do something and you do it every day or maybe every week, whatever, doesn't really matter. But then you notice that there's a problem with what you're doing. It's either not fast enough, it's either not good enough, or anything like that. And you use the thing or the service, the product, whatever, and you know it inside out. You know that there's a problem, and you think, you know what, I have the skills to fix it. Bang, you go open up an LTD, LLC, whatever, you open up a business, and then you start solving that problem. If you are focusing on, you know, what's trendy at the moment, and you're trying to jump on the bandwagon, you're just not going to succeed. Like, for example, we see so many wallets, we see so many decentralized exchanges, so many launchpads, so many DeFi protocols, now so many real-world asset protocols. There's no innovation whatsoever. They're just jumping on the bandwagon because they see it's trending. And yeah, so that's, yeah, that's that.
Yeah, coming back to the question of how actually get inspired for the idea, I would probably repeat myself. You should study the market and read the news in the morning, in the evening, basically 24/7 to see where the market actually is heading and what's going on, what's trending, what's hot out there. See what's lacking in the market, provide the service. Also, like an idea, try to be, you know, innovative and unique, perhaps by combining blockchain technology with something else. For example, with AI or IoT or digital identity protection or go.
AI is forbidden today on this panel. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I mean, it doesn't have to be that word. What I mean is combining blockchain with something else to give additional utility and to make it possible to be, you know, cross-collaborative, maybe even with Web2 industry, you know, or go in, providing utility for the mainstream market somehow, you know. It will create your additional audience and additional uniqueness. Just for, you know, generating.
I see a very big problem here, actually. I know a few people who jump in from one project to another, the founders. So, yeah.
No, you should not.
You wanted to say the same, right?
But the question was how to come up to some idea, not.
Yeah, but you keep saying
like
you have to understand the current market conditions, but trends, they do come and they do go. So, yeah.
The question again was how to come up with an idea. When you come up with an idea, you create a company, you stick to it, you stick to your vision, you create the roadmap, you're building it, you know. So I just answered that specific question.
See, but the problem with that approach is you're now just looking at the market trends, and you might have absolutely no experience in what the market is trending about, but you start as a company in that, well, market. And again, for example, we have a lot of clients that come to us and, you know, they want a token for a particular thing because they see it's trending. And then the more we ask them, because as much as we help with tokenomics, just from our experience, we also help them with business, product market fit, blah, blah, blah. They just have no experience in that particular market. They have no idea what they're doing. They've never used the actual things that they're trying to create a new company for. And the problem that now I agree with you, if you do want to find something, you know, trendy and something that will succeed because you can see that there is a booming market for it, you should definitely research the market, not denying that. But if you are a founder and you want to be successful in whatever you're doing, you need to ensure that you have experience in whatever you're starting, because otherwise you're just going to fail. And even before that, you're going to try to find investment, and the investors will ask you, well, what's your experience? None, and then you're just not going to fundraise, and again, you're going to fail. So not entirely disagreeing, but yeah. Kind of, I am.
What I'm trying to say, like, the key point is not building what's trending now, it's to predict the trend. And you can predict the trend by studying the market, you know, and build it before it became trendy.
This is like crazy tough for newcomers. You have to hire someone who knows the market better.
Yeah, or read, like, you know, McKinsey reports and try to analyze the information that's available out there. You can make, you know, logical kind of thinking.
So we stole all the attention, but we have another Alex here, please.
Yeah, that was nice, all that said. As a game, we challenged this problem twice initially when we came up with the project. And during the project itself, it's always a challenge for us to develop the game plot, the storytelling. So this is the thing. Of course, we need authors, creators for this, and the real storytellers who develop the idea of the game. So to keep the audience always in touch, like
With gaming, actually, not many old school gamers do understand the concept of Web3 gaming at all, and they keep thinking that Web3 games are mostly like poorly designed P2E or something like that. So yeah.
Well, even let's say even before Web3, so if we didn't speak about this topic now, I mean, nothing would change from the perspective of a good game, because people, I would say, always come for a good plot of the game.
Okay, we're running out of time, but we have still a lot of questions. So let's dive into a couple technical questions, please. The first one is how a newcomer can choose the right blockchain to launch their first product, and how a newcomer can choose the technical stack, because it's quite difficult, again, for beginners.
Now, I'm not a developer, but the one thing I'd say is just go for the blockchain which suits your needs. For example, Ethereum might have high gas fees, but it does have the most developers on it, while EVM does. So basically just choose the right blockchain for your needs. And also new blockchains, they're offering grants, but they're offering grants generally to try and bring projects onto the blockchain and then to try and compete with things like Ethereum and all its layer 2s and all the other popular blockchains out there. But in reality, they're not that good. Like, they break and they fail and they don't have developers and they don't really have users and so on and so forth. So just choose whatever's right for you, basically. I wouldn't, just because Sui is new, I wouldn't go and launch on Sui just for the fact that it's new. Like, it might have benefits. I know it does have benefits in some ways. But yeah, choose whatever's right for you.
Okay, I'm not an expert in technical side, but one thing that I can add is just look at the projects that are built on different blockchains and see if it's similar to yours, and see some of the successful projects and learn from them.
Well, technically, I'm not a technical guy, but I'm an engineer, so I can say something about that. If you are building any DeFi project, even today, most liquidity is on Ethereum, so which we can't deny. So Ethereum would be the best if you are doing something with DeFi. If you want to do something on gaming or NFTs, there are lots of projects on Solana, Polygon, Matic. So you can go there because people who like these projects are there on these projects. So if you want to attract that kind of community, then you need to go there. But it's not that like you go to everything and like you keep going from one blockchain to another one. Like, no, you just need to have a vision and you just need to stick to it. But there are blockchains that we see which doesn't work. For example, we all, I think, we take vacations only once in a year, right? We all take only once in a year. But Solana takes every month because it's down, and it happens like at least once in a month or once in every 2 months. So it's very uncertain.
Hasn't it stopped doing that in like the last year? I suppose it's been up like all the time.
I think it's going to come soon.
Oh. Fair enough.
So yeah, like the most stable blockchain for me personally being, I'm not paid by Ethereum Foundation or anything as such, but my own token is also on Ethereum blockchain. What I feel is like Ethereum is very stable, even though it has very high gas fees. Probably that will be sorted out in the near future or like in the future. But it's very stable. And lots of people are still on Ethereum despite having huge gas fees and slow transactions. So this is just my opinion.
Well, while choosing a blockchain, you should, like the first speaker said, consider the needs, which is like scalability, check security features, and availability, for example, to the developers' documentation and tools. Also, do they have, like, for example, grants, which could be very helpful for you, in order to use that specific blockchain. And regarding tools, not a dev, but like there are well-known tools as a Truffle, for example. But for sure, you know much more about this as a CTO.
Well, maybe yes. Well, for Age of Mars as a game, it was super easy for us since we run proprietary blockchain, so not much choice. And for any other project, this is also we invite to join. This is super low gas fees, which is essential for any gaming project. Discernible consensus, and fast throughput, lots of transactions within a second.
How do you recommend to find the right one for newbie projects?
Well, this would depend. I mean, in terms of probably between, as Alex mentioned, this is between the convenience of the virtual machine and the finding proper developers for the project. And of course, I mean, not every project has considerable amount of transactions within a second, so it may be not that much essential for them paying a higher gas fees once token is moved quite, I mean, not many times. So this could be an option, I mean, Ethereum. But others probably would need to choose something cheaper.
Have plenty of cheaper options actually now. So the next one is quite important, at least for me, guys. Do you agree with the statement that the blockchain technology itself is becoming more like backend of the Web3 startups, and the UX is finally becoming the key driver of mass adoption and attracting new users?
Should we mix it up and start from that side? Or, no?
Sorry?
No, this is okay, never mind. So I think UX has always been at the start. Like UX is always the most important thing for mass adoption. People don't want to learn, people don't want to have friction points, people don't want to log out of your application to connect to a wallet, to sign things, and they don't care, they don't want to do that, they just want to go on the thing, press, buy, trade, whatever they want to do, right? So UX has always been the main thing for mass adoption. It's just that now I'd say that people are realizing it once again, which is great. And what was the first part? Oh, that blockchain is becoming backend. Yeah, exactly. That's, again, always, that's how it should have been. Blockchain is just technology. The same way you don't hear people advertising that they're on HTTPS. You know, it's just a website on the front end. So yeah, so blockchain's backend, UX front end, always has been. And it's now coming to the light, if you will.
I agree with the statement, of course, because Web3 on its own is a very complex, and for example, creating an app based on Web3 and for users, it will be complex. We won't make it easier for them. So yeah, for mass adoption and for mass use of Web3 projects, for example, Web3 apps and etc., it's very important, not just in Web3, in Web2 also. So the statistics show that there are lots of tests doing regarding the web UX. So of course, yes, it's very important. We should pay too much attention to that.
I have nothing to add much because everything has already been said. But there are a lot of companies which is trying to solve the UX problems and also gasless transactions like Bioeconomy. So it's happening, and I think it can accelerate more and more from here onwards. Because when we see the number of people that used to use wallets, private wallets, especially like 2 years ago, and now we really have a lot of people. That's also because of a lot of scams and everything that happened in the last year, so people are more careful about it. So backend has always been blockchain, that goes without saying, but the front end was an issue. Well, I think a lot of new startups and a lot of new companies are trying to solve the problem, and it's going towards the right direction.
Well, we have 55 seconds as I see, so I'll be very short. UX is the key of mass adoption. The more easy it is, the more broad it will go.
Next question. Let's cover something else.
So we're really running out of time now, so it will be the last one. What's the one piece of advice you can give to newbie Web3 founders who are the newcomers to the industry?
Basically, everything that I've said, that's my advice.
Okay, being honest and transparent with your project. Remember that your audience is the core of your project, and building a Web3 project does not belong just to you. It belongs to the community that you build it for.
Find product market fit before raising funds. And once you raise the funds, know what you should do with the funds. And always try to solve a very big problem. And don't just go after some new trends, like which was one of the topics before. So go after a large problem and try to solve it.
Be user-centric, put community first, brand yourself also as a manager, as a founder, and this is the main ones.
Come up with a good idea with right people. The rest will come up.
Thank you, guys. That was quite insightful. So I hope you enjoyed it as well. And enjoy the rest of the day.